Yeah, hello everyone. So today we're gonna solve our first question. So what you have to do is log into your Leetcode ID. So I have logged into my Leetcode ID. We have to just search for a number. Here you can see the search question. You just have to search it 2798. And when you search it, you're gonna show you this number of employees who met the target. Okay, this is the first question we're gonna solve. I have already solved it, so I'm gonna explain this question to you. Okay, so this is the question. If you see this interface, okay, this on the left hand side is the question number, the title of the question. Okay, and you can see this is the question details, and they have given you two examples below, example 1 and example 2. Okay, and they have give you constraint. This is the limit of the question, like think of them as a limit to what you should use and what you shouldn't use, and how much the value of n could go to, and some other, depending on the question there will be constraints. And if you go down, there are more, like you can know what topic, similar I mean, like what topic this question is about. And there are companies, like in which companies, okay, this needs a premium. Okay, but basically as far as I know, this was once asked by Adobe and Amazon. Okay, and there is a hint. If you need a hint, if you don't are not able to solve, you can just use a hint. And there are discussion section where people have discussed how to solve the question. Okay, now coming to the question, the question is there are n employees in a company, numbered from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, there are n employees in a company. Before solving, remember, take a book and a pen and write down what you understood in the question. Once you understand the question, if you are not able to understand what is going on here, try to go through the example and understand what they are actually doing. Okay, so I'm gonna once read the question and explain to you the question overview, and then I'm gonna show you how what they have given as input and what they're expecting as output, and then I'm gonna tell you the output, like how we are solving this issue. Okay, so it goes like there are n employees in a company. They say there are n employees numbered from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, each employee I has worked for RI. Okay, in the company. So they say there are n employees. The first employee is 0. If we take an array, the array starts from 0. So the first employee is 0 and the last employee will be n minus 1, obviously, right? Each employee I, like each employee, like if suppose let's take n instead of n, let's take it 5. So there are 5 employees in a company. Okay, so if we start from 0, the fifth employee will be 4th, n minus 1. Okay, each employee I has worked. I means like suppose if we take the employee number 3, he has worked for hours of I. Now what is this hours of I? Hours of I is, it's an array of hours. In that ith position there is a value, that is the number of value will be the number of hours this employee has worked. Okay, the company requires each employee to work at least target. So the company said employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, employee 5, you have to work for at least 8 hours. So what we are going to do is we are going to track each employee how many hours he has worked, and we are going to compare is it equal to target hours. If they are equal, then we have to you are given 0 index array of non-negative, or you can forget this. So let me tell you how actually what they're expecting. So they gave hours. Okay, so they have given 1 0 1 2 3 4, and they're expecting each employee to work at least an hour of 2. So if you work hour 2, you're good to go. If you work hour 3, you're good, and if you work more than 2 also, it's good. Okay, so we have to count number of employees who has worked 2 equal to target and more than the target. So here we can see how many are there. 2 1 is there, 3 1 is there, 4 1 is there. So total number of workers who has worked more 2 and more than 2 hours are 3. So we have to get the hours 3. Okay, so for this, how we are going to solve this, basically these they will be giving this class solution. This till here the section is given by the Leetcode itself. We just have to put the logic how we solved it. So basically what we did is we took an output. Now this output is something I have written to count the number of employees. You can put it any line, like, okay, so let me just show you what it is. First what I did was I have given int Okay, I told the data that I'm gonna store is of an integer type. So just give int, and you can give it anytime. I have given as output. You can give us anytime. Like you can give us number of employees also. Okay, you can give it number of employees, and I would put it 0 because I don't know how many number of employees has worked 2 hours or more than 2 hours. Okay, so once I have done this, here we are using output. Okay, then what I did was I have to iterate through this. Now iterating through this means I have to go through this array to find out how many are there. But how can I do? First what I'll tell is I'll tell the compiler to go inside, check if the zero. So what it will go is, see, if we take this is called a loop, for loop. Okay, the for loop will do what it is, it's gonna start from 0. Okay, each array value is called an index. So this is an array, each value is called as an index. So this is 0th index, this is first index, this is second index, this is third index, this is fourth index. That's why here we said 0 to n minus 1, because it starts with 0 and it ends with n minus 1. Okay, there are 5, and here we can see the last index number is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so say what I said is, for if you come to the solution, here we can see we started with 0, which is here. We said if this value is less. Okay, so here, see, I am saying for int I is equal to 0, we are starting with 0. We are going to iterate over this all the array. And how to know how long is this array, because we don't know. Suppose here we know already there are only 5 elements, but if we don't know how many elements are there, what we used to do is we are using a property of an array called uh, dot length. Now what will do is dot length will do is it's going to count the number of elements in the hours array. So here ours we have 5 elements. If suppose there are 10 elements, it's going to count the length of the element and give us 10. Here if we suppose there are hours, if I ask you to find the time, then you can use suppose if the array name is time, you can use time dot length, and this will give you number of elements in a array. So this one gave us the number of elements in an array, and I asked it to start from 0. Find the number of the I value will increase from 0, 1, 2 till it is less than hours dot length, which is the size of the array, and it's gonna increment I plus plus. It's gonna increment by 1 each time the loop is completed. Okay, so if hours of I, so after this what I said, each time you get a value, suppose you are at 0, if you get the value of 0, if hours of I value is greater than or equal to target, as we know, we have to find if this value is 0 or greater than 0, then we have to increase the value of the output. Okay, so what we did, if hours of I, the now this square bracket this. Okay, now when we use the hours dot length, it gives only the number of arrays. But if you use hours of I, we put I, then whatever, suppose if I of 0 is there, no, so hours of I value is 0. So when 0 comes inside, hours of 0 is equal to, what is the position 0 of hours? It is 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 2? No. So output plus plus won't increase. Then 1 will come. So 1 is less than the hours dot length, which is 5. Yes. I plus plus, this will happen in next iteration. So 1 came inside, hours of 1. What is the value of it? 1 index 1. It's 1. Is 1 greater than or equal to 2? No. So similarly, if you come to 2, hours of at 2, it's 2. So 2 is greater than or equal to target 2. Yes. So we increment the value of output by 1. Okay, this is the way we iterate over all the loop and we increment the value of output plus 1. The second method which we use, it's a similar to this, but instead of writing this long line, what we have done is we have written it in a short way. So what does you can skip this if you if you feel this is overwhelming or confusing. You can just follow this one. This is also fine, and this is to, if you want to shorten your method, if you want to find another one, then you can use this. So what will this do is, we have written for int hour of semi colon followed by hours. Now what we'll do is, this is telling hours, whatever elements are there in the hours, one by one you come and store in the value of hour. Okay, now this hour contain all this value. It doesn't contain array, but it contains all the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now hour contains 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now first value of hour, is it greater than or equal to target? No. Output plus plus, no, it won't increment. then 1 will come from ours. The second value came to our. Now 1 is it greater than or equal to target? No, then output won't increase. Similarly, same logic we have applied, but instead of writing this condition and all, we have just used this. We said all the values ours, we want all the value of ours in our instead. Okay, and one by one each value is uh, checked. Is the condition true? If the condition is true, then we are incrementing the output, else we are not incrementing the output, and at the end we return the output. Okay, this is how we solve.